Brands Hatch for the season opener at BRSCC Fiesta Championship. Got a huge grid, some well-established drivers as well as some new faces. But as we're here, let's look at the Class Ds and Jamie White. Jamie White is the reigning champion for Class Ds. Jamie, first race about to get underway, how are you feeling?
All good. Hopefully we can stay here.
Track temperature's perfect, it's a bit greasy in qualifying, but it's got to be perfect now, hasn't it?
Still a few damp patches, and obviously we're still learning these tyres, so we don't know what they do on the sort of damper track at the moment, but it looks dry enough now. Hopefully we can get some good lap times in.
Bradley, your brother's been successful within the Fiestas. You joined us for half the season last year. Are you looking for the same?
Yeah, you know, hopefully we can do the same as Lewis. He started 6th last year, so I'm the place down from that, but he managed to get up to 3rd, so you never know, do you?
You got plenty of talent around you within the Fiestas.
Yeah, I've got three guys behind me that have been doing it for a long time, and obviously quite a lot of people in front of me as well, but oh well.
It's racing, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, qualifying was in the wet, the race is in the dry. Perfect conditions out there.
Yeah, hopefully on the new tyres, the MRF, so hopefully we can get out there, get some grip and get going.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers. So with that, I'll hand you up to our race commentator, Richard John Neal.
Anthony, thanks very much. Let's have a look at the grid. Bradley Kent lines up on the 4th row. Ahead of him, Harry Gooding on pole. Miles Baker alongside, then Charles Plumley and Danny Harrison. Tim Glover on row 3 with Tom Hutchins. Then it is Bradley Kent, Ryan Falconbridge, David Nye, Richard Ashmore, Jamie Going and Robert Stevens. And they're followed by Mark Court, who is pole position for Class A. Jamie White, defending champion, we heard from. He is the Class D pole position man on row 9. And it's John Cooper, Marco Ricci, Zachary Lucas, Luke Bannister, Colin Newbold and Tim Bennett. We are already underway. It's a very crowded start as they go down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. On board very briefly with Tim Glover. There's the defending Class C champion David Nye around the outside line, so losing a bit of ground, but it's Harry Gooding in his first race in the seniors, the former Fiesta Junior champion, hoping to do a Danny Harrison here. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Danny Harrison moved up from the juniors last year and won the opening race of the season, but we're off circuit with Tim Glover. Bang, that's a nasty one into the tyres. And over we go. That is going to be the first retirement of the 2018 season. The car in a very prone position, which means a red flag so that the marshals can get to sort the car out. Tim Glover, that is such a shame. Went off. You can see it was wet in qualifying, as you heard in the interviews, and still a damp circuit. Second bite of the cherry for everybody. Harry Gooding on pole position again. Miles Baker alongside in black and white. The black car of Charles Plumley is beaten off the line there by Danny Harrison in car number 18. Harrison looking to try and come across side by side for the leaders and going to Paddock. But look at Plumley, very quick through the gears and into Paddock. He's up into 2nd place. Miles Baker in black and white's down to 3rd. Super start this time. Let's hope for no problems as they go through Druids for the first time. The problem was the exit of Druids for our first retiree, Tim Glover, in that first start. We're on board with Danny Harrison, last year's winner. I was starting to talk about what Harrison did last year, which is currently what Harry Gooding is doing, having taken pole position and looking to win on his transition into the senior formulae from the juniors, where he was champion 2 years ago. He did a limited junior campaign last year and was really on the back foot championship wise. If you miss a couple of rounds or a couple of races, then you can really, you're facing an uphill struggle, an uphill and over the brow and down the main straight now goes Danny Harrison on the inside line. Harrison, the onboard we had in the red and white car, looks on the inside line of Miles Baker. Good to see Miles back in the championship. And Harrison's through into a podium position. Great battle going on for the lead. And up on the inside line now, challenging is Charles Plumley on his Fiesta debut, goes through into the lead. So Plumley the leader, Gooding in 2nd, both of them debuting in Fiesta seniors. And it's Plumley through. Look at that very late braking there from Danny Harrison, looking at the inside of Gooding, and they make contact. That's a little bit of rubbing, I think. And certainly no gesticulation from Harrison, who's got the inside line into Surtees, goes through. David Nye is challenging as well now, the reigning Class C champion, the 3rd of the cars you're looking at. We've got a spinner, and that is Miles Baker, who started so strongly. Miles Baker, 2nd in qualifying, and he is off. He's got a lot of work to do. So Harrison goes through. There is Gooding in second place. David Nye in third position. Sorry, a third on screen. Fourth on screen as they go through Paddock Hill Bend and down that dip into Halewoods, up Halewoods Hill into Druids once again. But it's Plumley the leader, but all over the back of him now and challenging hard is Danny Harrison. Harry Gooding still in the mix as well in third position from David Nye. Lively restart to our first race of the year here in 2017. Car switching tyres, as you've heard, now running on MRF rubber. Harrison now just having a quick look in the mirrors on our onboard shot to see where the challenge is, and the answer is that Harry Gooding is not too far away. Plumley taking a slightly wider line here. If you get a wider run through clearways or into clearways, then you can carry more momentum onto the main straight. Harrison, I think maybe, now is that he's getting, he thinks he's being held up, or does he want Harry Gooding to join him and maybe have a little bit of drafting so that the two cars can work together? I don't know, but certainly some gesticulation and loads of passion coming from that 18 car in second place at the moment. Again through Paddock, up the hill, the fastest laps starting to come down as the track dries out, and again you can see Harrison getting closer and closer to that all-black car of Charles Plumley, the 32. Great thing with new drivers coming into the championship is that the established men really don't know what to expect out of them, and Plumley here qualified very well, third in class in the wet qualifying session. Harrison was fourth, but now it's drying up and Plumley there getting it a little bit squirrely. That's going to scrub momentum off the car. Is he keeping it tight here coming into clearways? Yes, he is. He might go wide on the exit. Harrison, I think, senses there's a gap on the inside, and here's the visual confirmation of that, but Plumley's coming back across. Has he seen Harrison? Yes, he has. They're just keeping it close side by side for the lead, and across the line they go. And it is still Plumley there at the moment, but Harrison's got the inside line, the run down into Paddock Hill Bend. But look at Harry Gooding, superb move up the inside there, read that situation, inch perfectly to go through into second position. We've got some smoke coming up. I think that's Colin Newbold, one of the Class A runners, having some problems. Colin moves clear and allows Danny Harrison through. Here's the run, down through Graham Hill Bend. Looks like it's going to be terminal, sadly, for Colin Newbold in the 59 car, the man, local man from Tunbridge Wells in Kent. We've got a car off as well, that's Richard Ashmole, who's in the gravel. So Richard Ashmole is out. We've got a spinner there as well, which is the red car of Zachary Lucas, another newcomer to the championship. So coming onto the main straight once again, things calming down a little bit. Danny Harrison still out front, Harry Gooding second, all the space between first, second and third now, as you can see. So things relatively settled. We've got the oil flag out as well, and there's a problem for Danny Harrison, who's off and into the gravel. Is he going to hit Ashmole's car? No, he doesn't. You can see Ashmole's out of the car, thankfully to safety. Harry Gooding goes through, he got the better of that. Gooding is the leader now, so Gooding leads, Plumley in second, Danny Harrison trying to rejoin. We've got the green car, I think of trying to work, is that Tim Glover in green? That's Tom Hutchins, I think, coming through. We've got a red flag again, so the race being stopped for the second time here at Brands Hatch. And there's the reason why Richard Ashmole stuck in the gravel on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. So it's going to be another recovery and a third start for this race. Ready for the second restart. Danny Harrison starts on pole. He was in the lead the lap before the incident which stopped us for the second time. Tom Hutchins on the grid as well. Away we go, good start from Hutchins, even better start from the outside of the front row of the grid. And that is Charles Plumley really setting out a marker to the other drivers here that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. Grabs the line into Paddock Hill Bend. The question is it still going to be slippery out there? So Harrison second, Harry Gooding is in third place. Tom Hutchins, I think, following them in green. We've got a good run here out of Druids and down in towards, this is Graham Hill, in towards Graham Hill Bend, and a problem for Harrison, who gets it sideways, collects it, he collected it out well, the race leader's off as well, and Harry Gooding was there to pick up the pieces. It was Tom Hutchins who went through into second place. Ryan Falconbridge is through into third, the black and light blue car, but Danny Harrison did recover. Well, Harry Gooding, the thing is, if you're the first driver, you're going to get those problems, and that must have been a very quick reaction by the following drivers to see what happened and go safely through. But the conditions definitely caught out Danny Harrison, and also the then race leader Charles Plumley. You can see Harrison's got back on the case very quickly indeed. It's Gooding out front now, back up into third place, past Ryan Falconbridge, into Paddock Hill Bend goes Danny Harrison. So third time of asking then for round one of this year's championship. Now thinking about David Nye being out, he had a non-finish in race one last year, so he won't look at this side-by-side action here as they come down the hill. And it's Charles Plumley who's making good progress as well. Plumley lost a little bit more ground. I think Plumley went a little bit wider than Danny Harrison did. Harrison caught his moment particularly well and recovered well. He's got himself back in a podium position, but it's Plumley there from Ryan Falconbridge. Harry Gooding still in front at the moment from Tom Hutchins in green. You saw a flash of that green car going through. And Danny Harrison in red and white closing in on him. We go on board with Harrison once again. This is the main straight, very slightly downhill, and then a little bit of a climb into Paddock Hill Bend, which then dips away. Massive dip through this corner. Harrison focusing hard on the car in front, trying to get another position back. I tell you what, we could well, at the moment, have a really good battle for the lead by the time this. We've only got about 10 minutes racing action left. I can tell you the fastest laps are being traded at the moment. The first best flying lap was Danny Harrison, a 57.9, and Charles Plumley responded with a 57.5 on lap 3. So Harrison in third place, just working hard. They all know where the problems are on the circuit, so they could work the circuit to their own advantage. And watch Harrison coming through. Wasn't perhaps as happy with the wet qualifying session as he might have been, but certainly the dry conditions here seem to be, or drier conditions seem to be suiting him very well indeed as he tries to close up on Tom Hutchins, who moves into Class C this year from Class D, the Z-Tech S-Class last year, where he was a fair peddler. And this is the fastest class, Class C. You could debate long and hard as to whether it's a move up into this class because it's the older style Fiesta. And some sponsors, of course, might require that you race the newer shape. But to my mind, it means that you've got equal attraction to either class. But for the moment, we're focusing on Class C. Gooding, the leader, the former Fiesta Junior champion, the green car of Tom Hutchins, who comes from Crowborough. He's in second place, and Danny Harrison, who won this equivalent race last year, in third, but he's putting in a big challenge here, and Harrison piling the pressure on. Hutchins goes wide. Harrison's got his nose up the inside line. Is Hutchins going to get more momentum off Clark Curve? I don't think he's going to. Harrison's got his nose in front, into second place, and here he comes down towards the line once again. So Hutchins down to third. Harrison breaks the beam. He's got the fastest lap as well, so he's taken that away from Charles Plumley in the early stages of the race. The guy's getting more and more confidence as the race goes on, but Harry Gooding, in his first senior Fiesta race, looking absolutely superb out front. The youngster who won the Fiesta Junior Championship, as we mentioned 2 seasons ago, beating Bradley Burns, who's running in Clio Cup now, and Elliot Wilson. Jack Davidson was last year's champion from Nick Reeve in the juniors. Nick moving up into the Clio Junior Championship, having done so well with us in the Junior Fiestas. We've got another great crop of Fiesta Junior drivers this year, which you can watch in our sister programme. Brands Hatch, though, what a great place for opening round of the year. Jamie going in the all-white car, putting some pressure on Bradley Kent, who you might remember doing a partial season with us last year. And indeed, of course, Anthony spoke to him in the holding area before the first original start. And Kent's going to have a look through on the inside line here. Now, that's one of the Class D cars, and that's John Cooper, who's leading Class D, because you saw the green Class D Z-Tech S of Jamie White just out of shot, just coming into shot there with that previous shot. He's in second position at the moment. So John Cooper leading Class D from Jamie White, the defending overall champion. There is Jamie in the green machine at the back there, the 45, who's had his touring car test as well. By all accounts, thoroughly enjoyed that. So Cooper in the Simply Car Sales 88 car, leading Class D at the minute. As we head back to the overall lead, it's Harry Gooding still there, but Danny Harrison's been chipping away at the lap times and indeed the lead of Harry Gooding. Harry, remember, getting used to senior spec. All of the drivers getting used to these new MRF Racing tyres. Across the line they go again. So the clock running down. Is Harrison going to be able to take a win, or is he going to start at this point of the proceedings to think about the race format, which is 3 races? Where you finish in race 1 determines where you start in race 2, and the most important thing, of course, is to finish the race and grab the points. There are drop scores in this championship, but the drivers don't want to have to count race number 1 of the year as one of those drop scores if they can possibly help it. Both of these youngsters, though, are out-and-out racers, and I suspect that they probably won't be worried too much about that. They'll want to take the win, particularly at such a prestige venue as Brands Hatch. Harrison still trying to close in. We've got cars ahead, so traffic to deal with for the race leaders as well. And I think that's Tim Bennett, who's running in 6th place in Class D, that they're closing down on. Across the line again. Gooding's still there. Gooding's best lap, 56.5, a 55.5, and it is indeed through past Tim Bennett they go. Harrison on the inside line, is that going to give Harrison a shot at the lead? It does! Harrison's through into the lead. Gooding went to the outside line to clear the 16 car of Tim Bennett. Bennett cleared by the 3rd machine overall now, Tom Hutchins. Tim still running in 6th position in class, Tim Bennett in the 16 car. So Bennett with a good view of the overall top 3, and he's still running. I think he's trying to chase Marco Ricci. We'll keep a lookout for him. He's in the silver number 50 Class D car. Another newcomer to the championship. We're on board again with Tom Hutchins in 3rd position. And Harry Gooding, as you can see, far from finished yet as they go across the line once again. And Gooding mounting an attack here. He'll feel a little bit robbed that he went to the outside line of the back marker. Danny Harrison thought the inside was a good bet, and so it proved. Marco Ricci is there. You can see these 2 leaders closing up on the man who's in 5th position in Class D, around Druids and down into Graham Hill Bend, which is where the problem occurred for Danny Harrison on the very first lap. So remember, Harrison has recovered. Now we're going to see a change of fortunes here as they pass the 2nd car. That's the 2nd lap that they've had to put on, and Marco Ricci, no problems at all for him. And I think the next car that they'll happen across, we're on board with 3rd place man here, Tom Hutchins, looking to try and get past Marco as well. The race leaders, meanwhile, will be approaching up on Luke Bannister, who's running 4th in Class D. Good racing from Marco, inside line. Tom Hutchins goes through and past safely, not affecting his race, and he's got a grandstand view of the race leaders. Ryan Falconbridge up ahead at the moment of Bradley Kent. Timing screen showing us that we've got a couple of penalties to be added for track limits. It's always the same here at Brands Hatch. It does confuse things somewhat, but these guys, I think, racing for 5th place, and Kent pops up the inside line here, side by side. He's got the inside line, should get across as they come down in towards Graham Hill Bend. You can see he's giving room. This is a fine fight and a fair fight between these 2, and ultimately it's a great move by Bradley Kent, who gets the position, learning his craft. Bradley Kent, having come another driver coming through the Fiesta Junior route, now settling in very nicely into the seniors. That was Dad Warren, no doubt, watching. Little flash of the lights there. Danny Harrison flashing to let Luke Bannister know that he's coming through on the outside line. Barely has to lift off at all. So again, great respectful driving from that Class D runner. And that's the 3rd car in shot. Tom Hutchins will close in on him. Harry Gooding still not too far away. You can see the marshals waving the blue flags at the cars that find themselves a lap down now. Down the hill we go. Harrison still there. And Harrison, in fact, on that last lap, getting the fastest lap again, a 56.375 for Danny Harrison, so he has the fastest lap of the race. Was trading that earlier on with Charles Plumley, but he seems to have pretty much set the pace for this one. But as you can see, Harry Gooding not that far away. Mark Court in front, flash of yellow from him. Tom Hutchins still running well, and I think on for a podium, but runs a little bit wide, and Plumley goes through on the inside line to take 3rd place. But the first win of the season again is going to be Danny Harrison, who wins the opening race. Harry Gooding in 2nd position. Charles Plumley crosses the line in 3rd from Tom Hutchins. Then we've got the blue and white Luke Bannister car. Luke will finish 4th position in Class D. Rest of the runners coming through. Very close here. These are the two Class D runners. Jamie White on the inside line grabs it on the line to take the class win. Danny Harrison winning from Harry Gooding and Tom Hutchins. Charles Plumley fourth from Ryan Falconbridge and Jamie Going. Miles Baker next from John Cooper and Bradley Kent. As you can see, some time penalties and track limit. Zachary Lucas next from Robert Stevens and Mark Court. Luke Bannister 14th from Marco Ricci. And Tim Bennett completing the finishes in 16th.
Well, Danny, what a way to start the season. You've got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very tough race. We had 2 red flags, with one with oil and one with a crash, which I'm unsure of what happens. But when the oil went down, that was lethal. I ended up going sideways and was worried about hitting Marshall, so I ended up going towards the gravel instead. And the second time, I ended up backwards coming down Graham Hill, but managed to save it and only lose 2 places, so I was happy with that. But a good fight with Harry at the end, done well.